What's going on, guys? Lewis here with Precision Camera in Austin, Texas, and today Alyssa and I are shooting with the X-T4. We're in downtown Austin and we came across this farmer's market, so we're gonna go get some fruit and test out this X-T4. So let's cover some of the general specs on the X-T4 before we get out and start shooting. The X-T4 is going to have the same X-Trans 4th generation sensor as the X Pro 3 and the X100V. And I know what you might be thinking, didn't the X-T3 have the 4th generation? Yes, but I'm going to go into some more details on why the sensor is still more than usable in today's day and age, and all the upgrades that make it worth transitioning up to the X-T4 if you're an X-T3 user. As far as some of the other things on the body that changed, we get now a fully articulating screen. Typically in the past, with most Fuji cameras, except for I believe the X-A7, we get a 2-way or 3-way articulating screen. Now we get a full moving one. The body is also a little bit thicker. It's actually a little bit more comfortable in my personal opinion, but I'm assuming that has a lot to do with the articulating screen and the new in-body image stabilization stuff that's on the inside. But it does feel a little bit more comfortable in the hand. Some small details that have changed: the AEL and the quick menu have changed positions. So that's just something small. I'm assuming the quick button was just getting hit accidentally. So now it's a little bit more tucked away and a little bit more recessed so you don't bump it accidentally. And the order that the drive mode over here on the ISO dial has also changed. So just keep that in mind if you're a regular X-T3 user. Things are going to change just a little bit. As far as some of the other small details, we now have a locking eye cup, so you won't accidentally lose it in your camera bag, or if it rubs up against something, it's not going to accidentally fall off. You're going to get a removable SD card cover, which is pretty cool. And on the other side, we're going to get a mic port, a remote, a mini HDMI, as well as a USB-C port for charging. Now let's talk about the battery. The battery life was a little bit of an issue in the X-T3. We're only able to get about 390 shots per one battery, but now we get a much beefier, bigger battery, which is gonna get you about 600 shots per a full charge. You're also gonna get a battery grip. I don't have one with me, but you're able to put 2 additional batteries into that battery grip. And one of my favorite features is you can charge all 3 of them via the USB-C port on the side. So just plug that in, get all 3. So if you're a regular shooter that shoots for long days, you can charge all 3 of the batteries at the same time. Another one of the upgrades that comes on the X-T4 is an upgraded shutter. It's twice as durable and will last you twice as long. The X-T3 shutter was estimated to be about 150,000 shot lifespan. This one's gonna go to 300,000. It's also gonna be a little bit quieter. It doesn't make too big of a difference, but you will notice it. It's actually a much stronger shutter too, and will increase your burst rate. The X-T3 had 11 frames per second. You're gonna get 15 frames per second of mechanical shutter on this guy. And we do get a new film simulation mode. It's Eterna Bleach Bypass. We also get a faster autofocus, and if you're familiar with the X-Trans 3, if you got like an X Pro 2 or an X-T2, that has an X-Trans 3, and you do get dual and contrast detect autofocus, but it's only on the inner 40%. The outer little percentage of the sensor will get only contrast detect. On the X-Trans 4 version of the sensor, you get 425 autofocus points. That's contrast detect and phase detect all the way across the board. You're also gonna notice that there's a new white balance feature. There now is auto white balance with a white priority and an auto white balance with an ambient priority. If you're a wedding shooter, I think the white priority is gonna come in really handy, especially if you have a bride with a white dress. You wanna make sure that that white is really white, and your camera's gonna pick up on that and really focus on that. The auto white balance with the ambient is gonna focus on the entire image and adjust accordingly to that. And one of the exciting new features that I really like that's coming to the X-T4 is the image stabilization. Prior to this, the X-H1 was really the only one with an IBIS. This guy is going to have a better IBIS. The in-body image stabilization on the X-H1 topped out at 5.5 stops of correction, but that was really only with the 35-1.4. With the X-T4, you're going to be able to get 6.5 stops of correction with 18 of their 29 lenses, which is huge. On top of that, you get to pair that with the optical image stabilization in some of their lenses so that the in-body and the optical work together. And they even did one better. They now have a digital image stabilization. It's going to cost you a 10% crop, but now you have optical image stabilization, in-body image stabilization, and digital image stabilization all working together. Fuji doesn't have an official number on what that correction is, but if you're getting 6.5 just from the in-body image stabilization, plus the optical on top of that, plus the digital, you're gonna get some really, really smooth footage. With all three of those coming together, you get something cool called IS mode boost. And that's gonna help get really stable shots. So if you're doing video and you're just doing like a static shot, put the IS mode boost on and it's gonna make it look almost like you're on a tripod. I wouldn't recommend it for pans and tilts because it will try and correct for that. But if you're doing a static shot, IS mode boost is gonna help out tremendously. One last thing I forgot to mention, the autofocus is gonna work really great, even down to -6 EV. I know today we're out in a nice, bright, sunny day, so we're not really gonna get to take advantage of that, but if you are a low light shooter, you can get really great autofocus, even in low light. So a lot of new cool features coming to the X-T4 that weren't in the X-H1 or the X-T3. You're gonna get 4K at 60, which we've seen before, but now you're gonna get 4K 30 with 400 megabits per second. You're gonna get 4K, you're gonna get 422 10-bit with the HDMI out, and you're also gonna get hybrid log gamma. Your settings are also gonna be independent between movie mode and stills mode, so now you can have still settings be whatever they wanna be, and your movie settings to be what they need to be uniquely. Also, if you need to change settings in the movie mode, I know it's a little bit fearful clicking around these dials at the top, but now you get a silent movie mode, so everything is using the touchscreen on the back, so you don't get that clicking while you're filming. You're also gonna get continuous autofocus for face and eye detection while filming in video, and you're also gonna get that with the extreme slow-mo with 240 frames per second. It's gonna export at 1080, but it works really, really well, and honestly, it's really, really fun to shoot. And two other features, you're gonna be able to shoot in DCI, which is gonna have a 17:9 aspect ratio, which is a true 4K, and you're also gonna be able to get H.265 if you wanna do live streams. You're gonna get a smaller file size with not as much image loss. So some final thoughts on this camera. If you're a still shooter, it's absolutely phenomenal. If you're an X-T3 shooter or X Pro 2, that's gonna be an absolute amazing upgrade. The image stabilization is mind-blowing, especially for 2020 cameras where a lot of cameras come with really great image stabilization. This one is really, really surprising. And especially if you get to use it across all 18 of their 29 lenses, that's a huge bonus. If you're a video shooter, I think a lot of those video features that we were waiting for that weren't in the X-H1 and weren't in the X-T3 are now here, which makes this a really serious competitor for doing video. You get 240 frames per second, image stabilization, and tons of video options. This is a real video competitor nowadays. Make sure to pre-order. The link for the pre-orders are in the description below, as well as all of our social media channels. So follow the Precision social media, as well as all the stuff that me, Todd, and Alyssa are doing outside of making these videos. And if you aren't already, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications so that you're not missing out on all the cool camera gear that we have to review. I'll see you guys on the next one.